Hey guys, Scott here, and today I wanted to talk about DBD's player base and how, at least on Steam, it hasn't really improved as I thought it would based on the recent changes made to the game. See, I think the changes made to the game, this meta shakeup, has been actually very, very good. The amount of builds has drastically increased. It's not just the same four perks and everybody. There is a new meta now, but it's a little bit different at least, and it's something to shake something up, right? So I really thought it would bring a lot of players back. And the thing is, I think it did bring a lot of players back. It brought a lot of killer players back. But this patch also came with not really anything for solo queue. So I think what happened was we lost a bunch of solo queue players and got a bunch of killer players. And this is supported by the fact that killer queues have gotten significantly longer, indicating that there's more killers trying to play the game. So I think that's what's currently happening right now. So what that means is if they actually implement some type of solo queue patch, I think we will see DBD's player base the highest it's been in a very, very long time, probably since the first Resident Evil chapter when we had a ton of players. So I'm guessing that's what's going on here because I really do think the changes happening to the game are all actually pretty damn good. We've been asking for a meta shakeup for a while. Like, how nice is it to just not have to worry about something like, I don't know, old DS anymore or Dead Hard or just something like that. Like the fact that things are significantly different, in my opinion, I thought would bring a lot more players back to the game. But it seems like while it may have done that, it was really only killers that came back. So I think once we get that ratio right by fixing the whole solo queue issue, whether it's the icons they suggested or even if this whole unbreakable base kit thing makes it to live, that will probably bring back the player base as well. Because like you have to think about it. If you have to placate a player base and you are a company that's incentivized to have as many people playing possible, so they'll buy as many cosmetics as possible, which side are you going to incentivize? It would be smarter, although unfair, it would be smarter to prefer survivors because there's going to be more survivor players than killer players on average. Now, that's not to say that survivor players can't play killer and vice versa. It's just overall there's going to be more survivor players. So the more survivor sided an update, I'm willing to bet the bigger the player base gain is going to be, and also the quicker killer queues are going to be as well. So it's an interesting dilemma they have as a company to decide which side they're going to focus on for that particular patch, because as we've seen, if it's a killer sided patch, player base doesn't really go up at all. In fact, it kind of overall trends towards downward. So what does that mean? Do we need to make more survivor sided patches? No, not necessarily. I think survivors just need to not be forgotten to begin with. And that's, I think, what solo queue feels like right now. I think solo queue players feel like they've just been forgotten. And that's probably the biggest issue immediately right now with the game, is that they're not really being addressed at all. So I think once that is addressed, we'll see the player base probably get back up to like an average of, 40K players. I don't think we're ever going to hit this high again. But I think we'll be at a pretty good spot. Not to say that the game's dying or anything. 32K players concurrently right now at time of making this video, not even accounting for console, is perfectly fine. Game is not even close to being dead. Honestly, it's still doing better than it has for most of the game's lifetime. So it's still doing great. I'm just surprised there wasn't a greater increase in players from this most recent patch. But I think the whole leaving solo queue behind is the main variable behind that. I'm curious to hear what you guys think, because I really thought this patch was great, but didn't give as much of a boost as I thought. That's it. Thanks for watching.